Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, but instead of grabbing your phone, instead of rushing into the day, the very first voice you hear is your own. What if those first words shaped your entire day, your energy, your focus, even your happiness? Here's the truth, you already talk to yourself every day. The question is, what are you saying? Because the words you speak in the morning, they don't just echo in your head, they build the foundation of your life. Every morning begins long before the body moves. It begins in the mind, before your feet touch the ground, before you brush your teeth, before you drink that first glass of water. The direction of your day is already being written by the thoughts that rise within you. Most people don't realize this. They think their day starts when they open their eyes, when they see the sunlight or hear the alarm. But the real beginning lies in the unseen moment when you choose what to focus on, what to believe, and what to say to yourself. The inner voice is like the conductor of an orchestra. If it plays confusion, the entire day is out of rhythm. If it plays harmony, even difficulties are met with calmness and order. This is why talking to yourself is not a strange practice. It is a natural one. Everyone does it. The difference lies in whether that conversation is intentional or accidental, empowering or destructive. You can let your mind wander into worry and doubt, or you can direct it with purpose, planting words that strengthen you instead of weakening you. Think of the morning as planting season. Whatever seeds you place into the soil of your mind will grow throughout the day. Plant negativity, and you carry heaviness. Plant clarity, and you carry strength. The simple truth is this: words have energy, and the words you choose at the start of the day become the energy that guides you. If you begin by saying, "I'm tired, I don't want to do this, today is going to be hard," then your mind looks for reasons to confirm that belief. If you begin with, "This day is mine to shape, I have what it takes, I will move with purpose," then your mind opens doors that were invisible before. This is not imagination, it is psychology. The brain is always searching for patterns to support what you believe. If you feed it defeat, it will find proof of defeat. If you feed it possibility, it will find opportunities even in difficulty. That is why morning self-talk matters. You are not merely describing your state, you are shaping it. Consider someone who starts the day without awareness. They wake up, grab the phone, scroll through endless messages, see problems at work, hear news of uncertainty. Before they have even stood up, they are already carrying stress that does not belong to them. They are reacting before they have chosen. Now imagine someone who takes one simple breath before anything else and speaks to themselves with clarity. "This day is mine to shape." The difference is not in the events that happen. The difference is in the foundation. One is carried by noise, the other is carried by intention. Morning self-talk is not about pretending everything is perfect. Life will always bring challenges, surprises, and struggles. The practice is about reminding yourself that you have the power to respond differently. It is about anchoring yourself before the winds of the world begin to blow. The same storm may come to both people, but one is swept away while the other stands firm, not because of strength in the muscles, but because of strength in the mind. Throughout history, people have used affirmations, prayers, mantras, and meditations to direct their inner world before stepping into the outer one. This is not a new discovery, it is an ancient truth. The morning is sacred because it is the first opportunity to shape yourself before the world tries to shape you. If you do not speak to yourself, the world will gladly speak for you. It will tell you what you lack, what you should fear, and what you must chase. But when you talk to yourself, you reclaim that voice and decide what matters. Think about the days when you woke up already overwhelmed, thinking about everything that could go wrong. How did those days unfold? Likely, the smallest obstacles felt unbearable, and the simplest tasks drained energy. Now recall the days when you started with a strong intention. Maybe even a single sentence like, I can handle what comes. On those days, nothing changed in the outside world. The workload was the same, the problems were still there, but your strength to face them was amplified. The only difference was the conversation you had with yourself at the start. Your mind is like a mirror. In the morning, it is still clean, waiting for the first image you place upon it. If you let fear or doubt be that first reflection, you carry it with you into every interaction. But if you let clarity and strength be the first image, you carry that instead. This is why the earliest words of the day hold such weight. They are not small phrases to pass by, they are the compass by which you navigate. Morning self-talk is the art of alignment. It is aligning your thoughts with your values, aligning your words with your goals, aligning your inner state with the person you want to become. Without this alignment, you drift, pulled in every direction by circumstance. With it, you move forward with intention, even if the steps are small. Every person has two voices inside them, the voice of limitation and the voice of possibility. The morning is the moment when these voices are at their quietest, waiting to see which one you will awaken. By speaking to yourself intentionally, you awaken the voice of possibility. You tell it, lead me today, and once it leads, the other voice fades into the background. So, the hidden power of morning self-talk is this: it is the key to setting the tone before anyone else does. It is the act of becoming the author of your day instead of the audience of it. It is not about controlling every event, but about controlling your state of mind as you face them. And when your state is strong, no event can fully break you. The words you speak to yourself in the morning are like keys, and the very first key you turn unlocks the direction of the entire day. When you wake up and remind yourself, I choose my day, you step into life with power rather than passivity. Most people rise from bed and immediately fall into reaction. The alarm dictates when they open their eyes. The phone dictates what they think about. The responsibilities dictate where they place their energy. By the time they leave their home, they are already serving someone else's script. But the moment you speak those 4 words, I choose my day, you take back authorship. You stop living as a passive character in someone else's story and begin shaping your own. Choice is the foundation of freedom. Without it, everything feels like a burden. With it, even challenges can become opportunities. When you claim your ability to choose, you remind yourself that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a participant in creation. This doesn't mean that everything will go according to your plan. Life has its own rhythm, often unpredictable, sometimes unfair. But no matter what happens, you still hold the choice of how to respond. And that single truth changes everything. Imagine 2 people who encounter the same setback at work. A project falls apart, a colleague criticizes them, or an unexpected obstacle delays progress. One person thinks, why does this always happen to me? Nothing ever works out. I have no control. Their energy drains instantly, and they move through the day weighed down by frustration. The other person, though, begins their morning with the reminder, should I choose my day? When the same obstacle appears, they do not deny the difficulty, but they choose to see it differently. They think, this is a chance to learn. This is a chance to practice patience. This is not the end of my day, only a part of it. Both faced the same event, but one surrendered their power, while the other used their power of choice to rise above it. Saying, I choose my day, is not about controlling external events, it is about controlling your inner position. You may not be able to control the weather, but you can choose whether you let the rain dampen your spirit or cleanse your perspective. You may not control the actions of others, but you can choose whether to meet their negativity with reaction or with calm. In every moment, choice is available, but the strength to exercise it begins with the way you set your mind at the start. That is why repeating this phrase in the morning is so powerful. It awakens you to the freedom you already have. Consider how different the world looks when you forget this truth. If you believe you have no choice, every inconvenience feels like an attack, every mistake feels permanent, every struggle feels overwhelming. You lose the ability to separate yourself from circumstances. But when you know that choice is always present, you reclaim space between what happens and how you respond. That space is where resilience grows. It is where peace is born. It is where you find the strength to act with intention instead of impulse. Choice is also what separates routine from ritual. Many people go through mornings on autopilot, wake up, get ready, rush, repeat. But when you begin with, I choose my day, the same actions take on new meaning. Drinking water becomes a conscious act of care. Walking to work becomes a moment of presence. Even facing difficulties becomes part of your chosen path of growth. The tasks may remain the same, but your approach transforms them from obligations into opportunities. It is important to recognize that choosing your day does not mean forcing positivity or pretending everything will be perfect. It means stepping into alignment with your own values and deciding how you will carry yourself regardless of what arises. For instance, you may choose patience even when traffic delays you. You may choose focus even when distractions call. You may choose kindness even when someone greets you with anger. The choice is not about perfection, it is about direction. Each choice you make is like a step on a path. Alone it may seem small, together they build the entire journey of your day. One of the deepest truths hidden in this phrase is that freedom is not found in waiting for conditions to improve. Freedom is found in choosing how you meet conditions as they are. Too often, people postpone peace by saying, I'll feel better when things go my way, when others respect me, when success arrives. But that mindset hands over your power to forces you cannot control. The only way to live fully is to choose your state now. By saying, I choose my day, you declare that peace is not postponed, strength is not postponed, clarity is not postponed. You carry them with you into the day, no matter what the day carries into you. Repetition of this phrase rewires your perspective. The first time you say it, it may feel like an idea. After days and weeks, it begins to feel like a conviction. Over time, it becomes part of who you are, someone who refuses to be defined by accidents and setbacks, someone who remembers that choice is always present. And that presence of choice gives life a sense of direction and dignity that cannot be taken away. So every morning, when you rise, remember that the world may present challenges, but the very first decision belongs to you. The words you speak to yourself will determine whether you live the day as a victim or as a creator. And the simple phrase, I choose my day, can be the difference between drifting through hours and living them with intention. The phrase, I am enough, has a power that many people overlook because it feels too simple. Yet simplicity often hides the deepest truths. The human mind is restless by nature. It is constantly searching for what is missing, what is wrong, what could be improved. From the moment you wake up, the thoughts begin, I need more time, I need more money, I need to fix this, I need to be better. This endless cycle of lack follows people through their entire day and eventually through their entire life. But when you pause in the stillness of morning and declare, I am enough, you interrupt that cycle. You remind yourself that wholeness is not something you earn later, it is something you already possess. Think of how much of human suffering comes from comparison. People measure their value against the success of others, the approval of society, or the expectations of family. Someone wakes up and scrolls through images of others' achievements, travels, or lifestyles, and instantly feels small. Another hears criticism from a colleague or friend and begins to believe they are inadequate. This constant measuring creates exhaustion because no matter how much you achieve, there is always someone with more. The phrase, I am enough, cuts through that noise. It does not deny the achievements of others, but it shifts focus inward, back to the truth that your value does not rise and fall with comparison. Saying, I am enough, in the morning is like putting on armor before entering battle. The day ahead will challenge you. People may doubt you. Situations may test you. Even your own inner critic will try to whisper that you are not ready, not smart enough, not strong enough. But when you have already planted the seed of self-worth, those voices lose their grip. You no longer crumble under criticism or shrink in the face of challenges because you are grounded in a deeper truth. You begin the day from completeness, not from deficit. It is important to realize that this phrase is not about complacency. It is not an excuse to stop growing, to avoid effort, or to hide from responsibility. Growth and progress remain essential, but the foundation from which you grow matters. If you grow from lack, your journey will always feel desperate. You will chase achievement not to enjoy it, but to fill a hole that never closes. If you grow from sufficiency, your journey becomes lighter. You improve not because you are incomplete, but because you are alive and growth is natural. One way is fueled by fear, the other by gratitude. Consider the person who wakes up believing they are never enough. Their day is filled with proving. Every action becomes a test to validate their worth. If they succeed, they feel a temporary high, but if they fail, they collapse into despair. Now consider the person who starts the day affirming, I am enough. They still work hard, they still pursue goals, but the energy is different. They are not trying to earn worthiness. They are expressing it. When they succeed, they celebrate, and when they fail, they learn, but neither outcome defines their value. This difference creates resilience. Think of a child. Before the world teaches them to compare, they play freely, they express themselves without hesitation, they believe they are already complete. Over time, however, society begins to teach otherwise. Grades, rankings, opinions, achievements. Slowly the message becomes, you are enough only if you prove it. Adults carry this conditioning long after childhood. But the phrase, I am enough, is a return to that original state of wholeness. It is a reminder that worth is not something to chase. It is something to remember. The science of the mind also supports this. When you affirm a truth repeatedly, you create neural pathways that reinforce it. If every morning you repeat self-criticism, your brain becomes skilled at finding flaws. If every morning you repeat, I am enough, your brain becomes skilled at finding evidence of your strengths, your progress, your dignity. Over time, this shapes not only how you think, but how you feel, and eventually how you act. Words are not just sounds, they are instructions to the mind. Imagine walking into a meeting or a classroom, or even a difficult conversation already anchored in the belief that you are enough. Your body language shifts, you stand taller, your voice steadier, your presence calmer. Others sense it without you even speaking. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it is the presence of assurance. And assurance grows from the daily habit of reminding yourself of your sufficiency. There will still be moments of doubt. There will still be days when you feel small, when mistakes weigh heavy, when criticism stings deeply. But the difference is this: when you carry the practice of, I am enough, those moments no longer define you. They become experiences to move through, not identities to carry. You see failure as feedback, not as proof of unworthiness. You see rejection as redirection, not as condemnation. You see difficulty as a teacher, not as a verdict. Each morning offers you a blank page. If you fill it first with reminders of lack, the story of your day will echo with insufficiency. But if you begin with, I am enough, you write a different story. You enter the day with self-respect, with quiet strength, with an unshakable core that allows you to face whatever comes. And that core cannot be taken away, because it was never given to you by the world. It was already yours. The phrase, I will move forward, carries a unique kind of strength because it is a promise to yourself, a vow that no matter what happens, you will not remain frozen. Life is full of moments that tempt us to stand still, fear of failure, memories of past mistakes, uncertainty about the future. Many people allow those moments to chain them in place, repeating the same patterns, reliving the same regrets, postponing action until the perfect time. But perfection never comes, and the weight of hesitation grows heavier. That is why this phrase matters. When you say, "I will move forward," you are declaring that motion is more important than perfection, that growth is more important than comfort, and that progress is possible no matter how small the step may be. Consider how powerful even the smallest act of forward movement can be. A single step may not take you to the destination, but it takes you out of the place of stagnation. It breaks the spell of inertia. Too many mornings are spent replaying the past or worrying about the future, and in that mental cycle nothing changes. But once you commit to moving forward, you shift energy from dwelling into doing. Even if the step is small, writing a single line of a book, making one phone call, walking for 10 minutes, it creates momentum, and momentum is life's secret ally. Once you begin, the next step becomes easier, then the next, and soon you are carried by your own motion. This phrase also teaches resilience. To move forward does not mean you will never stumble. In fact, stumbling is part of the path. There will be days when things do not work as planned, when your energy is low, when failure knocks at your door. But "I will move forward" means that falling is not final. It means that even if today's effort feels small or clumsy, you will rise again tomorrow. It turns mistakes into lessons, obstacles into stepping stones, and challenges into opportunities to build strength. Without this mindset, setbacks become reasons to stop. With it, setbacks become reasons to grow. Think of a river. It does not stop flowing because a rock blocks its way. It finds another path, it moves around the obstacle, sometimes slowly, sometimes forcefully, but always forward. Life asks us to do the same. When you begin your day with the commitment to move forward, you embrace flexibility. You stop demanding a straight, easy road, and instead you learn to navigate, adjust, and adapt. Progress is rarely a straight line, but it is still progress. Another truth hidden within this phrase is that movement itself brings clarity. Many people wait until they feel ready before they begin, but readiness is often a result of starting, not a requirement. When you are still, uncertainty multiplies. Doubts grow louder, fears gain power, and the mind becomes foggy. But the moment you take a step, even a hesitant one, the fog begins to lift. You see more from the path than from the starting point. Saying, "I will move forward," is a reminder that clarity is earned through motion. You do not need to see the whole staircase to climb the first step. It is also important to see how this phrase transforms your relationship with time. Many people remain trapped in the past, replaying what they cannot change, or trapped in the future, worrying about what has not yet come. But when you remind yourself, "I will move forward," you bring yourself back to the present. The past can no longer paralyze you, and the future can no longer intimidate you. You move in the only time that truly exists, now, and you move forward adds up to a lifetime of progress. Imagine a person who repeats this phrase every morning for months or years. Slowly, their identity begins to shift. They are no longer the one who avoids, postpones, or hesitates. They become the one who acts, who persists, who advances regardless of difficulty. Others may wonder where their confidence comes from, but it is not external. It was built each morning, one small declaration at a time, until it became natural to keep going no matter what. And perhaps the most beautiful part of this phrase is the hope it carries. "I will move forward" is not just about discipline or action. It is about faith. It is faith that the future can be better, faith that today's effort will lead somewhere meaningful, faith that life rewards those who do not quit. Even in the darkest moments, when everything feels uncertain, this phrase lights a candle. It reminds you that as long as you can take one more step, You are not defeated. So each morning, when doubt tries to pull you back into yesterday and fear tries to freeze you in place, repeat these words. I will move forward. Speak them not as a wish but as a promise. And let that promise guide your actions, however small, however humble, because the power of a life well lived is not in giant leaps but in steady steps, taken day after day, always forward. Words are not mere sounds carried through the air. They are vibrations, frequencies that touch both mind and body, leaving behind imprints that shape how we think, how we feel, and how we act. Every morning, the words you speak to yourself become the blueprint for the day ahead. They are not just reflections of your state of mind. They are instructions to your brain, signals that direct your focus and energy. That is why understanding how words shape reality is so important. When you tell yourself something in the morning, you are not simply describing who you are deciding who you will become throughout the day. Imagine two people waking up side by side. The first one begins the day with a sigh and whispers, I'm already tired. This is going to be a long, difficult day. Those words may seem harmless, but they carry a seed that will grow. Throughout the day, this person's mind will filter experiences through that lens. A small inconvenience will feel larger. A challenge will feel heavier. Every interaction will feel like more proof of what they declared in the morning. Now, picture the second person. They wake up, take a breath, and say to themselves, today I have strength. Today I can handle what comes. Today I move forward. The day will not suddenly become free of problems, but the way they experience it will change. They will interpret obstacles as chances to test their strength rather than as burdens. The same reality appears different because the words they planted shape the lens they use to see it. This is not about magic or wishful thinking. It is about psychology and physiology. The brain is constantly listening to your words. When you speak doubt, the body prepares for defeat. When you speak strength, the body prepares for resilience. Science shows that thoughts and words influence stress hormones, heart rate, even posture and expression. Say to yourself, I can't handle this, and your shoulders slump, your breath shortens, your energy drops. Say, I will handle this, and your body rises, your breath deepens, and your energy increases. Words are instructions, and the body obeys. Consider also how words shape relationships. The way you speak to yourself determines the way you show up for others. If your inner voice is constantly harsh, critical, or doubtful, you carry that same energy into your interactions. You may become defensive, insecure, or impatient. But when your inner voice is encouraging, steady, and respectful, you meet others with more patience, more openness, and more kindness. Self-talk is never private. Its effects spill into the way you live and connect. Morning self-talk is particularly powerful because the mind is like soft clay upon waking. At that moment, it is most impressionable. The first words you speak set the direction for what follows. Think of it as tuning an instrument before a performance. If you begin out of tune, everything that follows will carry that discord. But if you begin aligned, the rest of the day carries harmony. This is why rituals, affirmations, prayers, or mantras have existed across cultures for centuries. People intuitively understood that words spoken at the start shape the entire journey of the day. It is also worth remembering that the opposite is true. Silence in the morning is not neutral. If you do not choose your words, the world will choose them for you. The messages from news, social media, or even the complaints of others will quickly fill the space. Without awareness, you may start the day already influenced by fear, negativity, or distraction. But when you choose your words intentionally, you create a shield. Instead of being molded by the outer world, you mold your inner world first. Think of the stories people tell themselves. Some carry an inner script that says, I am unlucky. I am not enough. I always fail. These stories become self-fulfilling. The mind looks for evidence to confirm them, and the more evidence it finds, the stronger the story grows. But the moment you change the script, you begin writing a new story, repeating, I am enough, I choose my day, I will move forward, is not just about the present moment. It is about rewriting the narrative of your life. Slowly, the mind shifts focus. Instead of seeing only proof of weakness, it begins to notice proof of strength. Instead of reinforcing doubt, it reinforces belief. Every major transformation begins with words. A decision is born from a sentence you speak to yourself. I will change. I will not give up. I am ready. These sentences may seem small, but they hold immense power. They ignite action. They create identity. They turn invisible potential into visible progress. The words you choose are the seeds of your reality, and like all seeds, they take time and care to grow. But once planted consistently, they reshape the landscape of your life. So the morning becomes a sacred space, not to be wasted or filled with noise. It is the moment to choose your words wisely, to give your mind the directions it will follow for the rest of the day. With practice, those words move beyond mere repetition and become truth. And once they become truth, they no longer just describe your reality, they create it. Repetition is often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and think of monotony, of doing the same thing again and again until it feels dull. But when it comes to shaping the mind, repetition is not dullness. It is transformation. The phrases you speak to yourself in the morning gain power, not because you say them once, but because you say them daily, steadily, until they sink below the surface of thought and begin to live in your bones. A single drop of water may seem insignificant, but repeated drops carve valleys into stone. In the same way, repeated words carve pathways into the mind. Think of the first time you tell yourself, I choose my day, or I am enough. It might feel awkward, almost unnatural. Doubt rises immediately. The mind resists because it is not yet accustomed to this voice. Years of self-criticism, years of comparison, years of reacting rather than choosing have trained the brain to follow another pattern. The first attempt feels like you are swimming against a strong current. But with repetition, the current begins to change direction. Slowly, the river of thought shifts. What once felt unnatural becomes familiar. What once felt like effort becomes instinct. This is the secret of all training, whether physical, mental, or spiritual. Muscles do not grow from a single exercise. Skills do not form from a single attempt. Strength is built through repetition. And the mind is no different. Each time you repeat your morning phrases, you are lifting a weight. You may not notice the difference after a day or even a week, but over time the mind becomes stronger, clearer, more disciplined. Repetition is the silent architect of character. Consider how habits are formed. No one becomes anxious in a single moment. No one becomes confident overnight. Both are built through repeated thoughts, repeated feelings, repeated behaviors. The words you use every morning are like bricks. Lay one brick and it is hardly noticeable. Lay them daily, and soon a wall stands before you. That wall can either protect you, if the bricks are built with strength and clarity, or trap you, if the bricks are built with fear and doubt. The choice lies in repetition. There is also a hidden beauty in repetition. It simplifies the mind. In a world full of distractions, repeating a few simple, powerful phrases creates focus. Instead of carrying dozens of scattered thoughts, you return to a steady center. It is like the steady beat of a drum that keeps the entire rhythm in place. Without it, the song of your life becomes chaotic. With it, your actions align. Repetition does not limit you. It anchors you. Imagine an athlete training for a race. They run the same track every day, repeat the same movements, strengthen the same muscles. To an outsider, it may look repetitive, even boring. But on the day of the race, that repetition becomes freedom. The body knows what to do without hesitation. In the same way, repeating your morning self-talk prepares you for the unpredictable race of the day. When stress arises, the words are already there. When fear whispers, the words are louder. When obstacles appear, the words guide you forward. You no longer have to search for strength. It has already been rehearsed, planted, and repeated until it is part of you. Some people dismiss affirmations or self-talk because they expect instant change. They say, "I tried it once and nothing happened." But no one expects a single push up to build a strong body. Transformation requires consistency. The same is true for the mind. One phrase repeated once may feel weak, but repeated daily, it becomes unshakable. The key is persistence. The moment you feel like it is not working is often the moment it is working most, quietly rewiring your thought patterns beneath the surface. Repetition also builds trust in yourself. Each morning you repeat your words, you are keeping a promise to yourself. That act of consistency strengthens your self-respect. Over time, you begin to trust your own voice more than the noise of the world. That trust is priceless because it allows you to walk with steadiness, even when others doubt you or when circumstances test you. You know where you stand because you have repeated it every morning until it became unshakable. The discipline of repetition leads to freedom. At first, it may feel like effort, forcing yourself to remember, to speak, to repeat. But eventually, discipline becomes natural. The words flow easily. The belief feels real, the actions align without struggle. What once required willpower becomes automatic. And when your habits align with your values, you are free. Free from constant inner conflict, free from hesitation, free from the heavy weight of doubt. So repetition is not a burden. It is the bridge. It takes you from intention to identity, from desire to reality. Every time you repeat your morning phrases, you lay down another layer of strength. They may feel small in the moment, but like drops of water, they shape the stone of your character. And with time, the voice you once had to remind yourself of will become the voice you live by. Every journey needs direction. Without it, energy is scattered, effort is wasted, and days blur into one another without purpose. This is why intention is the final, crucial step in your morning self-talk. Speaking words of choice, strength, and repetition is powerful, but without intention, those words drift without anchor. Intention is the compass that aligns your words with action, turning abstract phrases into lived reality. It is the difference between wishing for change and walking into change with clarity. When you wake in the morning and speak to yourself, you are not just making sounds. You are planting seeds. But intention decides what kind of garden grows from those seeds. Without it, even the most powerful words can be scattered by distraction, drowned by doubt, or forgotten by noon. With intention, however, those words grow roots. They guide your focus, shape your decisions, and remind you throughout the day why you began. Consider how easy it is to live without direction. Many people wake up and immediately fall into reaction. The phone vibrates, the news scrolls, demands appear, and the day is already stolen. In such a state, words of self-talk become empty echoes, quickly drowned out by noise. But imagine instead beginning the morning with an intention. Today I will move forward with patience. Today I will act with courage. Today I will not allow fear to guide my choices. Suddenly, the day has a shape. Challenges that once felt random now become opportunities to test that intention. A long line becomes a chance to practice patience. A difficult conversation becomes a stage for courage. Each experience becomes meaningful because it is aligned with the purpose you set in the morning. This is why the phrases you speak must never be hollow. They are not decorations for the mind. They are instruments of alignment. If you say, "I choose my day," intention asks, "How will you choose it?" If you say, "I am enough," intention asks, "How will you embody that truth in your actions today?" Without this connection, words risk becoming noise. But with it, words become a living practice. There is also power in writing down your intention. Spoken words activate the mind, but written words crystallize them. Writing your morning intention makes it tangible, a reminder you can return to when the day grows heavy. A simple line on paper, repeated daily, creates a record of growth. Over time, you can look back and see not just the days that passed, but the intentions that shaped them. This practice reminds you that your journey is not random. It is built one day, one word, one intention at a time. Intention also protects against distraction. The world will always try to pull your attention away. Fear, negativity, comparison, and temptation surround us constantly. But when you carry intention, you carry a shield. You may still face challenges, but you do not lose yourself in them. You remember, this morning I chose patience. This morning I chose courage. That memory steadies you. Without intention, life reacts to circumstances. With intention, circumstances react to you. Think of a ship without a compass. It drifts endlessly, carried by winds and currents, never truly arriving anywhere. But a ship with a compass, even in storms, knows where it is heading. It may be delayed, it may be challenged, but it never loses its course. Intention is that compass for the human spirit. It ensures that no matter what arises, you remain aligned with your chosen direction. At the same time, intention must be simple. It is not about overloading yourself with dozens of goals or expectations. The mind cannot hold too many at once. One clear phrase, repeated each morning, carries more strength than a long list forgotten by noon. Choose one intention, live it fully, and let it guide your day. Consistency matters more than complexity. Intention also connects today with tomorrow. Each morning phrase is not just about the next few hours. It is about the person you are becoming. When you say, I will be courageous today, you are not only preparing for one moment, you are training for a lifetime of courage. Each day becomes practice for the future you are building. Over time, those intentions weave together to form character, and character determines destiny. So every morning, after you speak your phrases, pause for a moment of stillness. Ask yourself, what is my intention today? Let the answer be clear, simple, and rooted in your values. Then carry it with you, not as a burden, but as a quiet guide. Each time the world tests you, return to it. Each time your mind wavers, repeat it. Slowly, it becomes not just what you say, but who you are. The practice of self-talk is not just about words, it is about building a life. Choice, strength, repetition, and intention weave together into a daily ritual that aligns thought with action, belief with behavior, desire with reality. And when lived consistently, that ritual transforms not only your mornings, but your entire life. Let us return to where we began, the simple act of speaking to yourself each morning. It may seem small, almost too simple to matter. But you now know that these words are not just sounds. They are choices. They are directions. They are seeds planted in the soil of your mind that will grow into the life you live. The morning is your reset. It is the moment where you decide, will I allow the world to choose my thoughts, or will I choose them myself? Every phrase you speak shapes the lens through which you see the day. Every intention you set becomes the compass that guides you through storms and uncertainty. So do not underestimate the power of your voice. Use it to remind yourself that you have choice, that you carry strength, that repetition is your teacher, and that intention is your compass. Each morning, give yourself these phrases not as empty affirmations, but as promises you intend to live. Because the truth is this, if you do not speak to yourself, the world will speak for you. If you do not choose your story, someone else will write it. And if you do not anchor your day in words of power, doubt and fear will gladly take their place. But when you choose your words wisely, you choose your life wisely. And when you begin each morning with clarity, courage and intention, you carry that strength into every step of your day. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, pause before the noise of the world arrives. Take a breath, speak to yourself, and remember the voice you hear first will become the life you live next.